Hey everybody, welcome back to Danganronpa 2. We're back in Hope's Peak Academy. Oh boy. So we need to find some clues on what the outside world is like. Why is this why is everything like glitched? Is this not... what is going on? I don't know how he's doing it, but he keeps doing it over and over again. He's so persistent. But I'm not gonna fall for his trap. There's... this will take me down. This hallway, there's a strange feeling to it, no? As if an invisible wall has been erected.
I am concerned.
Is it just me? No, I think it's an invisible wall. I think there's a lot of invisible walls. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. Wait, what the fuck? Oh no, my mouse died. Oh god, hold on. Guess that's what I get for not charging my dang wireless mouse. I thought it was something the game was doing to me. But, nope. Wireless mouse died. Dojo. So now we're using a wired one. That's very annoying and not very long, so, I'll do my best. Isn't this supposed to be on, like, the 4th floor? It's full of strange things that make me think, well, this was actually... It's a manga? Manga for Morons, A History of Hope's Peak Academy by Monokuma. What? Let's start with history first, class!
Hey!
Reading manga is the third best way to learn about history. What's the first? That depends on the person. So just as I thought, Monokuma made this. That totally explains how suspicious it looks. I really want to ignore it, but there's no way I can do that. Fine, I'll look at it. Anything that might be a clue to getting out of here. Is that a cat? Picked up the manga off the floor and started flipping through the pages. It's an introduction to Hope's Peak Academy's history as narrated by the cutesy character on the cover. The story begins with an introduction to Hope's Peak Academy. Hope's Peak Academy is a government-funded school of privilege where only the most talented high school students can hope to attend. Built to raise hope in the nation's future, many of its alumni are key leaders of various industries. New students are chosen through a scouting process, but the ones who scout them are Hope's Peak Academy's teachers, who serve as both educators and researchers of talent. Hope's Peak Academy isn't just a school for talent, it's also a school for researching talent as well. However, for the past few years, Hope's Peak Academy has been suffering from a decline in funding. If this persists, the Academy believes they will not be able to make progress with their research of talent. So they decided to implement a new system. The Reserve Department. Unlike the main department who scouts for students, the Reserve Department utilizes a general entrance exam. Normal faculty was hired and placed in charge of looking after the Reserve Department. The expenses and exam fees are quite high compared to most high schools. Nevertheless, Hope's Peak Academy received an endless stream of applicants. Hope's Peak Academy was now available to talentless commoners, people who only cared about the brand. With this, Hope's Peak Academy managed to amass sizable funds and began further research of talent. To create Hope's Peak Academy's earnest wish, a true genius who would become mankind's hope. But just when they thought everything was going well, an unprecedented incident occurred. The incident that triggered the tragedy, the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. That's right, it was the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy. Hope's Peak Academy was crippled by this incident and was forced to shut down without accomplishing anything. The end. Huh? The ending was so sudden, like a manga that's suddenly cancelled in the middle of its run. These phrases mentioned the end, the tragedy, and the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy. Those names are so melodramatic. There's no way those really happened, right? Manga only mentions the names, so I don't really know the details, but it'd just be a waste of time to wonder about things that don't make sense. I learned something. The Reserve Department. That department was only built to collect money. I was one of those Reserve Corps students, right?
But hold on!
That's weird. Oh, you're here again. Ah, the thing that's weird is you, of course. Huh?
Hey!
Why did you forget that you were part of the Reserve Department? The Future Foundation only took away your school life memories, right? But you should have known even before you entered that you had no talent, right? So I think it's weird that you actually forgot something like that, too. What do you want me to say?
By the way...
Based on my assumption, the Future Foundation must have wanted to hide the fact that you were one of those Reserve Corps students.
I got it!
Or you willingly sealed those memories yourself. You wanted to be confident in yourself, so you wanted to forget everything that embarrassed you. You know, when humans experience trauma, sometimes they erase their memory of what happened. It happens pretty often. Not that I'd know anything about that. Are you saying it's my fault I forgot? That's not it.
Come on!
When things get inconvenient, you always get angry and try to brush it off. Well, that's expected of a reserve course student. Damn it. Truth bullet. That target seems pretty far away. If the production team had more time, there could have been a mini game here. Wait, what am I saying? Armor and a helmet. The map developers designed this to reflect a Japanese dojo. What? There are a bunch of wooden lockers. Each of them has a traditional looking woodblock key. I guess they're just for show. Okay, well there was a clue in them in the first game, but... Done in here. Go in there. You got anything?
What's going on?
This hallway is kind of creepy. I can't go to places I should be able to go to. It's like some rule is being enforced for no reason. It's like there's an invisible wall or something. Jesus. Okay, we can't go in the bio lab. Things are not in the right place that they should be. We're on the 4th floor right now, I think. Or the 5th floor? We've already been into the dojo. Yikes, I don't like this. 5A? Oh, this is not the one where the massacre was. This is another manga. It's laying on top of the desk. Manga for morons. The tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy, huh? That's why Hope's Peak Academy went bankrupt, and it was the trigger for the biggest, most tragic, most awful event in human history. If I read this manga, will I be able to learn more? Maybe. What can we learn about the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy? The story made heavy use of outdated, stylized drawings depicting characters solving mysteries. What's written here is... As the name suggests, the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy occurred at Hope's Peak Academy. The key player in that event was a student named Izuru Kamukura. A new name. Izuru was a genius known as a symbol of hope. Hope's Peak Academy used all their resources to develop him. Supposedly, Izuru was a genius among geniuses and possessed various talents. Wielding superior talent for the hope of mankind, the Academy referred to Izuru as the ultimate hope. To protect such rare talent, the Academy completely concealed all evidence of Izuru's origins and identity. Because of that, most of the students at the Academy were completely unaware of Izuru's existence. But Izuru, who was known as a symbol of hope, was responsible for a horrible incident. 13 students of Hope's Peak Academy's student council, among the best and the brightest of the Academy, were brutally murdered by Izuru. However, the incident did not end there. The Academy tried to protect Izuru's superior talent and concealed the incident as though it never happened. However, a certain student began working in secret to use that incident to their advantage. That student uncovered what the Academy did, and by making that knowledge public, it stoked the fires of reserve corps students who had long been dissatisfied with how they'd been treated. And the uprising began. And that heralded Hope's Peak Academy's destruction. That is the entirety of the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy. Eventually, that incident would lead to that horrifying, devastating incident. The incident that would be known as the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. Works cited, Danganronpa /0. Am I supposed to believe this? Only 13 people were killed. What irony for a genius known as the ultimate hope to cause such a gruesome incident. A talent like that is too regal for society. It's like trying to buy juice with a bar of gold. You should be lucky that you're incompetent. Always has to lead to something defensive, huh? Ultimate hope. Nagido mentioned that before too, but it looks like it means something completely different here. Yeah, Makoto became the ultimate hope, but Nagita said was the true meaning of hope. For Izuru, hope simply means talent. More importantly, a genius. I wonder if... I wish they'd give me one of those talents. The Reserve Department. It said that the Reserve Corps students in the Reserve Department began an uprising. Like a war? Was I a participant too? No, that's not possible. There's no way I have no reason to do something like that. I wonder if the person Nagita was talking to in that flashback was Izuru. Wonder what the incident that was the most tragic in human history. Certain student who secretly used the incident to their advantage. Could that be me? Could it be Hajime? I wonder. It's possible. It's certainly possible. Can we go this way yet? Looks like it's open now. What the hell is with this room? It's free. Yeah, this is the morgue. Yep, it's the morgue. There's another manga just lying around here. Manga for more is the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. Yep. What was that incident really all about? It might turn out to be something lame. No, I don't think so. The event that had all the Monokumas taken over the world. That cover is pretty creepy. A story about creepily drawn characters who got involved in such horrifying incidents. Incidents known as, I've already said it a million times. Is this drawn so grotesquely because the incident itself is that grotesque? The beginning of this creepy manga starts with this sentence. The tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy was simply the trigger. At first, the uprising by the Reserve Corps students that triggered the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy was initially hoped to be resolved quickly, but the situation continued to escalate to dangerous extremes. The movement started spreading all over the internet and fostered a thriving online community. The community was not limited to students, and people of various races and nations began joining in. But the movement was not confined to the internet and began spreading and eroding the real world. When the movement started, it was indistinguishable from any other demonstration inspired by social unrest. Excuse me. But as it spread across the world, certain abnormalities soon came to light. By then it was too late. The ends and the means had vanished, and wanton destruction became their only goal. The strong butchered the weak. The weak killed the weakest among them. And soon the weak formed factions to brutally murder the strong. As the violence and death continued to spread, the shock of their actions began to disappear. As if the era was regressing to more uncivilized times, when senseless death was the norm. The media was oversaturated with deaths to the point where people would watch them while enjoying a meal. By the time the world realized what it had become, it was too late to stop what had happened. A feeling of immense despair began spreading and eventually engulfed the world. Acts of terrorism and coups d'etats began occurring around the world. A war waged in the name of despair. A war fought not for principles, religion, or personal gain. Just war. Pure war. Because of that, there was no way to resolve it. How could a movement started by high school students progress to such a hopeless scenario? The only explanation is the existence of a certain organization, devoted to a certain student who influenced Hope's Peak Academy, a group called Ultimate Despair. Okay, the student who took advantage of Izuru was Junko and Oshima. Instead of using Hope's Peak Academy's talents for the sake of mankind's hope, they used them for the sake of mankind's despair. Junko and Oshima, and Mukuro Ikusaba as well. Key members of society used their influence to brainwash the masses in order to spread despair. Tech-savvy computer programmers wrote software to spread despair. The powerful and influential created new values and morals to spread despair. And with this, they created the tragedy. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. As long as ultimate despair exists, the despair engulfing the world will never end. The tragedy will never end. My heart was racing in my chest, but my body felt ice cold. It wasn't because I was freezing in this room. Biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. This has gotta all be made up. I mean, if this is really true, what's happening in the outside world? My family, my friends, the convenience store I frequent, the nearby bookstore, my favorite restaurant. What's happened to them?
No way!
Hey, are you seriously yelling at a manga? How crazy are you? Who would enjoy reading something like this?
What?
Oh my, you don't like manga? A high school student who doesn't like manga is like an office lady who doesn't like to eat candy. Enough. What is this messed up manga? I thought you'd obviously know about such a horrible event that destroyed the world, but for you not to remember that, such despair. That's the Future Foundation's fault though, thanks to them stealing your school memories. The incident that happened during that period has been completely removed from your brains. This incident really happened, and I actually forgot about it. There's no way that's possible.
What are you saying?
How many times do I have to tell you? All the clues here are real.
Hello.
Please understand, I'm rooting for you. If you don't learn about the full extent of the outside girl, you guys will suffer for it. I just want to help you guys so you can live well-adjusted lives. That's what he meant by what he said at the beginning. Yeah. He's trying to make us feel despair toward the outside world, so we'll want to stay on this island. But there's no way I'm going to do what he wants. Despair like that simply can't exist. The outside world should be filled with hope. Just like now. Perhaps. No, that's definitely it. Tragedy. Whether or not this incident really happened, what in the world is this Ultimate Despair group? They're devoted to a certain student who guided Hope's Peak Academy to its destruction. But they connected to both the yeah, it's Junko and Oshima. That organization isn't just one person, but a group of people. But if they're known as Ultimate Despair, they're high school students, right? If they were actually able to do it, then I guess that's why they were called Ultimates. Are the killings were involved in connected to them as what? Maybe? I mean, Monokuma... No, I didn't get the Monokuma! Hold on. There's a hidden Monokuma under the desk. Hold on. I want that. I will take that. Thank you.
I've been found.
There we go. Cool. Where next? Not here. Nope. We've been here. 5B. Have we been in here? I should ignore it. I'm just going to pretend I didn't know. What does he want?
Hiya.
Why, hello, Hajime. I hope you're doing pleasingly well. What are you doing here?
No.
Well, there was another thing I needed to tell you on this floor. I got bored of drawing manga. Can you forgive me for telling you by word of mouth? I should have done that from the beginning. I didn't want to read your manga in the first place. A high school student who doesn't like manga is like a sumo wrestler who doesn't like eating hot pots. I'm getting really fed up with your babbling. Hurry up, what did you want to tell me? It's about that key piece of information you've been waiting so long for.
What?
It's about Ultimate Despair. Huh? Even though the term Ultimate Despair refers to a group these days,
Actually,
it was originally the title for a high school girl who was the most powerful, evil, and feared person alive. Junko Enoshima.
yes indeed.
Lady Junko Enoshima.
Hey,
As the former Ultimate Despair, she created despair brimming with charm and humor, and created the Ultimate Despairs. There was one really horrible person in that group.
don't fuck with me.
Hold on a sec. I don't know what the Ultimate Despairs are, but it's not that easy to form an organization. There's no way people would join some fucked up organization created by a high school girl.
Unbelievable.
Humans who are obsessed with their philosophy have an uncanny power to attract others. It's a trait shared by many famous leaders throughout history, right? There's nothing strange about it.
Hey,
That holds true for Lady Junko. With her charismatic ability to attract people, she even influenced those in the highest echelons of power. So the fact that Akuma's referring to Junko as Lady Junko means that Monokuma's not being controlled by Junko right now. I mean, she's dead. It'd be really fucking hard to control him, but he also got up at the end of Danganronpa 1 after she was already dead, so... I don't know.
phew.
Her connections were the main reason that incident became the tragedy in the first place. So she even recruited people who would have been in a position to neutralize the threat.
Huh?
And what was their purpose?
Huh?
What? Why did they cause that incident? It doesn't even make sense. They had a purpose, right? There's no way they'd do what they did without any purpose.
Hey,
It was Junko and Oshima's despair. Huh? For Junko and Oshima, despair isn't about purpose, a set of principles, a way of life, or an instinct. Despair is what defines Junko and Oshima as Junko and Oshima. What are you saying? I'm a stuffed plushie. Hajime the human. It's exactly like that. Junko and Oshima is full of so much despair that she's truly hopeless. Living, dying, eating, loving, for her everything is despair. The hell? With her overwhelming force of personality, Junko recruited the ultimate despairs one by one. She controlled their despair by taking advantage of their love, hate, grudges, anything really. Junko's despair is far more dreadful than any other. That idea had been slammed right into their minds. And so, the ultimate despairs who'd been recruited became nothing more than Junko's limbs. All despair, whether it was their own or anyone else's, was dedicated to Junko and Oshima. Like believers making offerings to their god. Like a mother providing food to her children. They dedicated all despair so they could escape from despair. All in Junko and Oshima's name. For example,
phew.
they killed their families and friends and even destroyed their bodies through relentless mutilation. And to hopelessly top it off, they completely believed it was something that they had to do. There's no way something that crazy is possible.
What?
Do you know about the final days of the Reserve Corps students during the tragedy of Host Peak Academy? Final days.
In other words,
Junko has the power to change people's values. This is also true of famous people throughout history. What do you mean, final days? What happened to the Reserve Department?
of course.
They fulfilled their role as disposable limbs. They believed in what they needed to do. And so, the 2,357 students of the Reserve Department all committed mass suicide. Mass suicide.
What'd you say?
All 2,357 students? Oops, it wasn't all of them. One person was excluded. Is that me?
Damn it!
I don't believe it. There's no way I can believe this. Ultimate despair. Junko and Oshima. It doesn't scare me at all. I mean,
Bastard!
Junko and Oshima is already dead. Huh? Oh boy, she's wearing the fucking crown. Hey Fuyuhiko, is it true what you said? Junko and Oshima is really dead?
Huh?
You didn't see? There was a book called Manga for Morons, Killing School Life in that bloody classroom. Oh wait, what was that you said about the killing school life? Like the killings we were involved in, they were killings that happened at Hope's Peak Academy. As I recall, the mastermind took her own life because the remaining students worked together to defeat her.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was. That killing school life ended up failing in the end. As a result, the 6 students who survived managed to escape from the academy.
Hey,
For a manga about the killing school life, it was drawn with a lot of silly images and dumb gags. According to that, the mastermind behind the failed killing school life was Junko and Oshima. The mastermind took her own life, which means Junko and Oshima is dead.
like...
Turns out that killing school life was part of that whole biggest, most awful whatever incident. Junko took away the memories of former students of Hope's Peak Academy and forced them to kill each other. Former students of Hope's Peak Academy, and she took away their memories. That's just like us. Apparently, the whole thing was being filmed by surveillance cameras and broadcast worldwide. There's a limit to being a cruel asshole. The surveillance cameras were broadcasting the whole thing?
So...
Students of Hope's Peak Academy are widely known as symbols of hope. by forcing people to watch these symbols of hope kill each other for the sake of survival. They were trying to fill everyone who watched the broadcast with despair at once. That's messed up. That messed up plan was stopped. Junko and Oshima failed. Junko lost to the students she placed in her trap, and after being overcome by the despair she created, she took her own life. And Junko's no more. No matter how horrible she was, there's no reason to fear someone who's dead. Whether Monokuma's story is true or not doesn't matter.
Bastard!
Junko and Oshima isn't alive anymore. Then, who is our enemy? Who is controlling Monokuma? If Junko and Oshima's already dead, are the rest of the Ultimate Despairs behind this? Are the followers of Junko carrying out her will? That's the only thing I can think of. I mean, the killings we're involved in resemble that killing school life. Well, I don't know who the hell is imitating Junko and making us go through this, but an imitation is just that. An imitation.
No shit!
If the students from Hope's Peak Academy stop the real deal, there's no way we'll lose to some fake. If this is really an imitation, are those surveillance cameras the same too? Cameras all over Jabberwock Island. Are they broadcasting this somewhere? Just like the surveillance cameras during the killing school life? Okay. Ultimate Despair has been updated. Man, Hajime, you totally know about that story, huh? You have a problem with that? Well, I really wanted you to read the manga version.
What are you gonna do?
Oh, well, I'll just raise the flag. Flag? What do you mean, raise the flag? What's going to happen if you do that?
Ooh,
One step at a time. You're getting closer to clearing my character route. You're not making sense again.
Well now.
Now then, I'll give you guys my all. I'll tell you everything I know, including information on the outside and the inside.
Yeah!
I'll raise them flags like crazy! Death flags, I hope. No, I don't really need
Hey,
you. Even though the term Ultimate Despairs,
yeah.
I don't need to hear about this again.
What?
Okay, well, we're done here then. How's my pet doing? Oh, bad things are happening. No, she got despair! Shit. I think that's gonna stop me from getting the, Damn it. That's gonna stop me from getting Usami as a pet, I think. Change to a different hallway again? I've already decided that I'm not gonna be surprised. There's no time for me to be surprised by something like this. It's in a cocoon now. Kane's switching her nose like a beast and examining her surroundings. Hey, what happened?
Based on my gut
Well, you
feeling.
know, it's just my gut, but I feel like someone's getting closer. What do you mean, who?
So,
I don't know, it's just my gut after all.
It's just my gut.
Her gut is pretty impressive. For some reason, it's strangely intuitive. Monokuma did say something about the main cast coming. Well, okay, so the Danganronpa 1 cast should still be alive, right? Theoretically, like... Could they come? Maybe? We're on the 4th floor now, huh? Walking the walk. I got an achievement. Walk 5,000 steps, huh? Oh, the map. The Danganronpa 1 map. You can go to the music room now. This looks like the music room. Why is there a floating tombstone? Words are floating in the air? Looks like a passage from an email. Regarding the report we gave you the other day, we've obtained information, a person who claims to be a survivor of Hope's Peak Academy. Upon further investigation, there are a total of 15 survivors. You may be wondering about the number of people at this time. If they're survivors of Hope's Peak Academy, it's possible they may be targeted by Ultimate Despair. We believe we should acquire them and place them in our care as soon as possible. Though I don't believe the group can go that far without Junko and Oshima rallying them. In a worst case scenario, we must prevent a repeat of the killing school life. Also, if they are survivors of Hope's Peak Academy, we should expect them to be quite valuable to us. However, we are still investigating the details of their origins and we haven't located them either. We will continue investigating this matter. Also, regarding a separate matter, we've received a report from the research facility on Jabberwock Island. Preparations have been completed. It seems we can proceed with the experimental phase of the Neo World program. Survivors of Hope's Peak Academy. 15 students? Is that about us? Excluding Chiaki, who was part of the Future Foundation, there were definitely 15 of us, but what does survivors mean? It's like they're talking from some other world. What happened outside Jabberwock Island? If the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history is really true, then the world isn't normal anymore. Maybe. I'm starting to feel like we might be better off not remembering the memories we've lost. Okay. Why would there be a monument in a music room? The mark engraved on the monument is a symbol of the Future Foundation. There's a short passage. To combat the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history, the graduates of Hope's Peak Academy were among the many who established the Future Foundation? The Future Foundation was established by the graduates of Hope's Peak Academy. Aren't they known as World Ender? This is completely different. Monokuma, he completely made it up. So Makoto, Kyoko, Byakuya, Hina, Hiro, Toko. They made the Future Foundation. The Future Foundation is on our side. They were founded by the graduates of Hope Peak Academy and they took us in to protect us. But if that's true, Chiaki should have made that clear to us. No, as long as Monokuma was around, she probably couldn't say anything carelessly. Monokuma. If he's the Future Foundation's enemy, then his true identity must be the Ultimate Despairs, who caused the biggest, most awful, most tragic event. The ones who are carrying out the will of Junko Enoshima are making us go through this. This caught my attention in the email, too. What is this research facility on Jabberwock Island? The only Future Foundation facility we found was that ancient ruin. There's no way that's the research facility. If there really is a research facility on this island, there should be other Future Foundation members here. Somehow there's still so many mysteries. Okay, so the Future Foundation was in fact created by the Danganronpa 1 survivors. So there are friends. List of subjects: Hajime Hanada, Chiaki Nanami, Kazuichi Soto. Oh. This feels different from a classroom.
Maybe...
It's probably the office, right? I mean, the room kind of has that stuffy teacher vibe to it. Now that you mention it, it does look like that.
Well...
More importantly, have you seen Miss Sonia? I don't see her anywhere. How much longer is this guy gonna be obsessed with Sonia? Give it up already. Bunch of flowers. They look strange to me. Are my eyes just tired? No, they definitely look pixelated. What the fuck is going on? We understand this matter regarding the survivors. In order to safely acquire them, please do your best and continue your investigation. You must exercise extreme caution concerning the remnants of despair. Even though they've lost Junko Enoshima, the fact remains that they are incredibly dangerous. Even after her death, the tragedy is not ended. Perhaps there's still a leader on par with Junko Enoshima. As long as we do nothing about the remnants of despair, we will not be able to end this incident. For this reason, the remnants of despair must be immediately eliminated once they are discovered. Everything is for the sake of a shining future. Immediately eliminated. Does that mean this is an order to kill them? That doesn't sound peaceful at all. Well, I guess that's understandable. If the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history is as terrible as it sounds, it's pretty much all-out war. The remnants of despair are the ones waging that war. There's no way they'd be forgiven that easily. Okay. A list of subjects. Yep. Hajime Hinata, Chiaki Nanami, Kazuichi Soda, Nagito Komaeda, Gundam Tanaka, Ultimate Imposter, Teruteru Hanamura, Nekomaru Nidai, Fuyuhiko Kuzuryu, Hyoko Saionji, Hakane Owari, Sonya Nevermind, Peko Pekoyama, Mahiru Koizumi, Mikan Sumiki, and Ibuki Miyoda. What's that newspaper? Hyoko Saionji. Wow, she looks like much less of an asshole there. Miss Hyoko Saionji. That can't be the same Hyoko, right? The Hyoko we knew... She was much smaller and looked more childlike. It was pretty much her defining feature. But the photo in this newspaper... I can see the resemblance to Hyoko, but her height and figure... It's way too different from the Hyoko we knew. What does this mean?
Huh?
This lady looks pretty mature. Is she Hyoko's older sister or something? No, it says Hyoko Saionji here. And Hyoko has an older sister with the same first and last name. What?
I mean...
That's the only explanation, right? I mean, look at it for yourself. That's not Hyoko. Did you ever hear her mention an older sister?
Man...
Well, it's not like I was that close to her or anything.
Wrong.
She doesn't have an older sister. Hyoko is the Saionji family's only daughter. She doesn't have a sister, then a relative? Ah, there's still too much of resemblance.
What are you
That's
saying?
Hyoko. Huh?
Of course
What are you
not.
saying? Hyoko doesn't have a curvy body like this. I mean, she was famous for her childlike figure. She got away with all kinds of crap for looking like that.
Well...
I don't know what to tell you. Maybe she had a growth spurt? What are you saying? She's already dead. There's no way she could have had a growth spurt.
Today,
Well, regardless,
I'm
all the clues I
right.
provided are true. If they weren't, it wouldn't be fair.
What's going on?
Heck, this is the truth? If this is the truth, then the Hyoko in this newspaper. Is he really saying this is the same person? It's impossible. I mean, how can there be a photo of a grown-up Hyoko when she's already dead? Why does this even exist?
Hey,
Could it be related to that list of subjects?
this is bad.
Maybe it means there was some kind of experiment, right? Did that experiment change Hyoko's body? What am I saying? Just saying it out loud makes it sound messed up. What experiment? If it's some kind of experiment, it would mean that we're also test subjects, right? And our names are also written on the blackboard. But what kind of experiment was it?
What's going on?
They're not having to do with time travel. I don't know, man. Post Peak Academy founder Izuru Kamakura. Wait, but... I thought Izuru Kamakura was the ultimate hope that killed people. With this, you've totally raised all the flags on this floor. Congratulations, Hajime. You shall now go to the next stage. Well, we'll figure out what the next stage is next time, guys. I'll see you then. Have a good one.